Oh, hello. Do you think that Big Brother is watching? Or that the Illuminati are planning to take over the world? Have you had an encounter with a space alien today? Well, if the answer to those questions is yes, then grab your hat. This is tinfoil hat time. Welcome back to tinfoil hat time. Yeah, this is another one of the tinfoil hat times that kind of happened because I got a little angry, and we're going to talk about that today. I hope everybody's grabbed your bow staff. We're going to do a little bit of battle with the DMR-asaur. It's that little guy. So the DMR-asaur, I kind of created him with a bunch of different logos of all a bunch of companies that all use DRM to block in all of your stuff there. So what we're gonna do is talk about what I've been dealing with a little bit here and some of the things. So we're going to jump in here. I'll start out by saying hello to everybody. Hello, Ryan and Gentoo Preacher. Hello, Ni. Hello, Liam. And hello, Mark. Yes, like my haircut. Stuck my head in a lawnmower. It was pretty sweet. I gotta patch up my hat a little bit. I'm getting a little bit of space alien coming in there and invading my mind because there's a couple gaps up there. Oh, well, I'll take care of that later. Anyway, what we are going to do here is we are going to talk about DRM. Of course, DRM is digital rights management, and this has to do with how a individual the cat's got a hold of my tinfoil hats. Yep, that's true. It does stay pretty high up there on that shelf, so they don't actually mess with it. But yeah, it's getting old. All right. So, I don't know why you come early, Ryan. I got two Ryans on right now. Hello, both Ryans. Greetings. All right. So, battling DRM. What started this? Well, as you know, I've been going through this fun process of minimalizing things, and that led me to some documentaries, which I love to watch documentaries, as you may know. And I watched one called Without Bound, which was cool. And a lot of the people talking about Without Bound have all mentioned reading Walden by Thoreau. And so I'm like, you know what? I think I need to go read Thoreau. And I've come to this fascinating conclusion that in high school, I remember us doing some quotes by Thoreau, but we never actually read the materials. And I think that the reason is they wanted us to learn a few of the cool Thoreau quotes so we sound educated. But they were terrified if we would actually read that book because it so flies in the face of what the school system wants to teach kids these days. And so I start reading them going, yeah, this is a pretty good book. But I'm like, can I get I bet, this is such an old book. I bet I can get it for free on Amazon, on Kindle, whatever. Well, I get in there and it's like, yes, you can get this with your Kindle Unlimited subscription. Do you realize that Amazon has at least 3 different subscription plans I know of? They got the Prime, they got the Kindle, and they got the music. Like, you could be paying $100 a month for Amazon for nothing. And so this made me start to wonder, can I just pick up this book somewhere else online? And so I did a little bit of research online, and I found several places that had a copy of Walden online as a .mobi file or a .epub file or whatever else that I could get and I could sideload into the Kindle. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm doing all of this stuff. Like, the one thing that prevents me from fully minimalizing my life is I like books. And a lot of people are like, oh, I could just fit all my books on my Kindle. But there's a couple factors. The first is I really don't like reading on a digital screen. I will, but I don't really want to say that's my book collection. There's something about having the physical book in my hand that makes it for me a lot easier to read. And so with that, I like kind of having the physical book. But there's a lot of books, like I read a lot of old classic books that, we should have all read in our childhood, and I never did. Just on my iPad because I'm like, well, I'll exercise and I'll read books while I'll exercise, but I'll use the iPad because it could fit inside. At the time I had a nice elliptical. It could fit inside the top on the elliptical, and I could read, Great Expectations and other good classics, and I could get all those for free on Kindle. But then, of course, we have this problem that is, I'm not a big fan of all this tracking stuff, and the problem is that we are getting is that Amazon tracks everything. But it's getting so bad with DRM that, okay, this is funny. I have a book, Testing and Temptations, which is a Christian book, okay? So I have this book here, and I was like, you know what? I need to back up a digital copy of this because, as you know, I've been making digital copies and digital backups of everything, digital copying my VCR tapes so I can get rid of all that kind of stuff. Amazon's DRM blocked me from getting my own digital copy of my own book. Yeah. Didn't end to that. Now, you could go in and there's ways out there that you can break DRM, which probably breaks DMCA or DMCA section 1201 and 1202. And I'd rather not be imprisoned for 5 years for breaking the DRM encryption on my own book. But, so what I decided to do, you got to come to these thoughts and conclusions. And there's books I have a fabulous book here from Dave Ramsey, The Legacy Journey. I've already read this book, and I actually have a DRM-free copy of this book in my digital library that I don't have to have linked to a Kindle. I verified it works. It's in my Calibri library now. So I think I'm going to get rid of this book. It's a fabulous book. But I think I'm going to drop it off in one of the local community libraries, and somebody will be very happy to find a $30 high-demand book in a local community library. That'll be fun. So here's what I came to the conclusion, is I'm going to borrow books from the libraries or whatever else to read the physical copy of the book, and if I think the book is good enough, I will see if I can't find a DRM copy. I'm going to say that totally wrong so many times today, so please forgive me for that. But I'm going to get a copy of the books wherever I can, and save a copy of them in the digital library so I can still go through and read and reference them, because I want to reference the books, but the chances are I'm not going to read too many books again, and so I'm going to use that as kind of my guiding principle. And so that's kind of where we are going with this. And we got some comments here, so let's go ahead and transition over, look at some comments real quick. All right. So, hello UK Beast 89, number 89, your time has come. All right, they smell better too. Smell better too. What smells better? The books? Oh yes, the books. The books do smell better. Yes, I love going into libraries to smell it. I agree with you, Switched. I like the physical books rather than the digital books. Yeah, it's I don't mind reading it online. If it's free, I will gladly read it on a Kindle rather than going out and buying it. But I'd rather, having the same options, I'd rather physically have the copy of the book in my hand. Great Expectations while exercising. I bet you were expecting to lose some weight. Yes, I was expecting that Pip was going to lose a ton of weight on that elliptical. Absolutely. I mean, and I was expecting somebody come in and just flabby suck it all away. But, also for some reason I like printing out Wikipedia articles and just reading them as a physical copy. I'll do that every now and again. DRM for all, yay! Your own book has DML. Wow, Kinder. Yeah. Well, my book was published through Westbow Press, who I'm finding that as a Christian group is very, I don't know. I found a lot of them. I was looking at, I'm going to be doing a book club at our church this summer, and I was going to see if I can find a copy of the book DRM-free so I can just buy it online. I'm like, no, couldn't. It's like all these Christian books are too worried that someone's going to violate the copyright and share it with a friend. Get over it, Christians. Get over it. Maybe I should read the book and pass it on to somebody else. It'll be okay. I promise you. You will not go to hell for sharing your book with someone else. It's just not, it's not a condemnable fact. Okay. Yes, my own book does have DRM. Yeah. Okay. Amazon's DRM, that's nothing compared to Apple's DRM. Been trying to open Apple Music song in VLC and it didn't work. Actually, I mean, depending on where you are, Liam, apparently you can maybe potentially, in theory-ish, get your music. Apparently you can take them from iTunes, burn them onto a CD, and then rip the CD off, and they call that DRM-free. Because Apple apparently, 2008 was DRM-free, and then around the turn of this year, there became a whole lot of articles about how you could do it. Of course, you could buy the $24 a year subscription to convert your library to the DRM-free copy if it happens to correspond with the moon aligning properly with the stars, or you can just buy their subscription service for $9.99 per month. And we're going to get into all that. That'd be exciting. Hello, Daniel. How are you? Okay, breathing will require you to have DRM. Yes, I am absolutely. Kind of like that blonde with the headphones. Remember that joke? That was a good one. Drunk just to warn you all. My grammar sucks when I'm like this. All right. Drink up, UK beast. I know it's late there. Not a Christian, but I like reading Christian books because I find them really interesting. Cool. Hey, I'll go ahead and pitch something real quick. Hold on. Imagine if Jesus' message had DRM. Yep. You are not allowed to share the message of the gospel. It's DRM protected. Actually, though, what's funny is the day I signed the deal to publish this book with Westbow was the day that they became affiliated with, I don't know if you can see it on the bottom there, if you focus, Mr. Camera, Zondervan. I hate Zondervan. I think that they stand for not Christian messages necessarily. But if I had known they were even talking about it, I wouldn't have signed with them. In fact, I got some publishing or some editing scripts back trying to upsell you their editing services, and they literally, their editor attempted to quote or to editorially correct my direct quote from the Bible while handing me the Christian Manual of Style. No, thank you. I will not pay much attention to your Christian Manual of Style, Mr. Zondervan. Thank you. Let's see. Sharing is caring. Sharing is pirating. It depends on who you ask. Pope would say not very Christians. All right. Okay, may as well. I'm going to go ahead and do this pitch now. I happen to have, while I was looking for getting my own digital copy of my own book back, I do actually happen to have 5 free, DRM-free copies of my book available as a .mobi, EPUB, or PDF download. If you would like one of these, first 5 people to shoot me a PM on YouTube, I will respond and give you the access code. You do have to enter an email in with my publisher. They don't check and verify that, best I can tell, so go ahead and spoof that all you want. But first 5 people, I have 5 free digital copies. You can download this. It is DRM free. You can pass it to wherever. If you'd like one of those, shoot me a PM on YouTube, and I'll shoot you a code. If for some reason you shoot me that and you're in that top 5 and I don't respond, there seems to be, for some reason, a few people on YouTube I can't seem to reply to your messages. So we'll deal with that if we get to it. But yeah, that is the book. It is a Christian book, FYI. So Ryan, if you'd like to read a DRM-free electronic book, you can get the PDF and print it, though. You know. All right. I don't have a CD drive, by the way. It is MP4 file from Apple Music, which is a subscription service and not iTunes Store. Yeah, okay, so apparently if you use the subscription service, it's basically like streaming, so you don't get them DRM free. But of course, everybody's DRM free, I'm finding, which is kind of funny. Let's go ahead and dive on into these. Let's see, a couple more here. I hate Android keyboard so much, yeah. Christian Style Guide. Today's functional Christian wears a loose-fitting robe and some comfortable sandals. Well, you know, John MacArthur said if you throw on some sandals, throw on a robe, walk down a beach, say you're Moses, you'll have 100 followers in a week, you know? But no, actually, where they had a serious thing, like I actually italicize there it is. I actually italicize my references to scripture, so you know it's like the Bible talking and not me. And they didn't like that. They're like, that confuses people. I'm like, no, I italicize my Bible verses. Deal with it. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at some articles here. Okay, so I started looking at, let me grab my list. looking at DRM, I identified why did this happen, of course. Now, I actually took the time to read a Yale law document today, a Yale research article looking at the DRM and all the history thereof today. 65 pages. It was a great read. I learned about all the old copyright laws. I learned about the old DAT systems that ended up not... let me go back to here for a minute. The old DAT systems that what happened is Sony had it figured out how to make perfect digital copies on cassette tapes as early as the late 80s or early 80s actually. And since there was this giant feud still between the American economy and the Japanese economy, the threat of a lawsuit prevented them from releasing it. And they ended up finally compromising, putting in a little script that with those old digital copies, it was called a DAT machine, like a digital, was it digital? I don't think it was digital analog tape. I forget what it stands for now. But it would put a little tick before the recording that the first time it would let you record one copy perfect, but you could not record a second copy off of that. And so that kind of happened. Well, what ended up happening, why DRM happened, you can blame Napster or Lars Ulrich, whoever you'd prefer. But what happened is it became so easy on the internet to share digital copies that people were sharing unauthorized copies. And I do not support sharing unauthorized copies. I don't like that kind of stuff. It's, it does really hurt the artist. Well, maybe it hurts the artist. It hurts the producers who are ripping off the artists, we'll put it that way. But if they're not happy, nobody's happy. So they're just like 5-year-olds with a temper tantrum. Don't download my song for free. But regardless, you had the unauthorized sharing, and then the second reason you want DRM is that it locks in more money because you can sell things. Like, for example, what DRM basically means is you do not ever own the product anymore. Like, I have 500 books on my Kindle library. I don't, but if you have 500 books in your Kindle library, guess what? You don't have 500 books. You have the license to read books of 500 different titles, but if 10 years from now becoming a Christian happens to become illegal, and the way a political climate's going, it very well may. I mean, we're offensive after all. I mean, I'm like the most offensive human being out there. I am a white male Christian. I'm just evil. I mean, I just, the horn should grow. Okay. But what should end up happening here is, if 10 years from now Christian books become banned, all your 500 titles, if they're Christian books, boom, are gone. Right? Scary. Because they have the ability to pull any of those titles, both from your device and from your account at any time. So though you've bought the book, you haven't bought the book. You bought a license to view the book. And it's the same thing that's happening with the music services and the streaming services. You're not buying the content. You're buying the license to view the content. But if their license to share it with you expires, it's gone. And that's why I want DRM-free copies of things that I can physically own and do what I want with. Oh boy, Vital Tube, hello there. If you want to sell your own files, plenty of services available. Put a widget on your site. It links to their server. You can sell PDF, MP4. Yeah, actually, I need to do a redesign of my Christian site. When I redesign my Christian site, I am going to sell my digital copy DRM-free because I do not like Kindle anymore. Although, if you do like Kindle, you can still buy my book from Kindle. I think it's like $3 or $4 or something over there. I forget. Time for app hunting after the stream. Yep. Thought Napster died. It was resurrected. Actually, Napster right now is on its third incarnation, and it's hilarious. I'm going to show you some extremely funny things. I literally started LOLing out loud today, like loud. It was crazy. It was awesome. Why are you stealing my stolen music? Because Lars Ulrich doesn't like it. 1984 welcomes you, citizen. Yeah. I'm keeping this physical book. All right. That is 1984 back there. Hello, Tommy Norwood. How are you? Norwood, excuse me. All right. Let's go over and have a quick look at Napster. Because what I did is I pulled out 3 different areas. I pulled out movies, music, and books. Music? I don't know. Whatever I just said. Music, movies, and books. Now, I actually didn't address movies much at all because the DRM with movies is still totally illegal in this country. Like, totally. Despite all this stuff is out there, you can do all this stuff. Like, you should look at the technology that Sony did to protect CDs from being ripped. Took someone one day to figure it out. If you focused on a Sharpie and colored the edge of the CD, it blocked the code. Yes, millions of dollars in research and marketing blown by a 99-cent marker. Yeah! Awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, DRM is breakable. There are applications, plugins, and things you can get online to break the DRM of your libraries, of your music libraries, of your book libraries, of your movie libraries. The problem is, it is illegal. It is a violation of 1201 DMCA, line 1201 of the DMCA rule. And 1202 says if you're doing that with the intention to sell, or if you are trying to sell the services to do that, it is like imprisonable by 20 years in jail and $1 million fine for a movie. By the way, all these things on DRM are all non-necessities. It's insane. So, hello, Dr. Rob. How are you? Napster, do the math. Linux question. Shoot the Linux questions in there, Tommy, and we'll get them answered as we go. All right. So let's have a quick look at Napster's new website here. This is awesome because I actually found this looking at quote-unquote DRM-free music sites. And this is not DRM-free. So basically, you have a few different options with Napster now. You can pay $5 a month and have personalized radio, all streaming, of course, through your phone. You can skip as many songs as you want, and you can have high-quality ad-free radio for $5 a month. For $10 a month, though, you can even download your song to listen to offline. There's a little problem, though, that happened with this. This is hilarious, okay? So, basically, I was looking into, and what I did is all of these things, I started to do internet searches, and I wanted to know on an internet search what happens if I were to take these, because almost all these services I'm going to show you are all saying DRM-free music. You can download it for later play. It's not DRM-free. It is downloadable through their app. Here's the problem. I have a non-trackable, NSA-free, no one's going to follow me around, cheap MP3 player that I absolutely love. It has 8 gigabytes of internal memory, and I can expand it however much I want with this little SD card. And I can plug this bad boy in, I can throw some headphones in, and no one's going to track me. I can go for a little walk, and I can have whatever I want to listen to on here, and this thing's completely offline. There's no apps, there's no craziness. I want to know, can I take your service, purchase music, download it, and put it on this, or put it on my NAS drive? Because my other devices, like on my phone, I don't want to use the integrated phone lines that they have, so I use VLC on my phone. And on VLC, I can link this up to, as long as I'm on my home network, it can see my internal media server, and then I can download to my phone anything off of my internal media server. That's what I want to know if I can do. So what happens, though, is that this does not give you MP3 downloads. See it download any song and listen to offline. It downloads WMAs, but there was something funny that happened in Windows 10. Ooh, Windows 10. Look at this little help article. Cannot download and play offline or use MP3 players with Napster PC client after Windows 10 anniversary update. What happened? Well, when Microsoft released Windows 10 anniversary update on the 2nd of August, October 16, it removed the support for VM DRM tracks and offline playback. On Windows 10, you can no longer play media files without an internet connection. Well, Well, welcome to Switch to Linux. You can come on over to Linux and you can play all your media files all you want. So the problem is that Napster's downloading these on MP3, or on WMA, I think, and they removed, like, you cannot play media, like, audio files apparently on Windows 10 unless it's on a network. Why is this? They're collecting the data about what is the song, what is the size, what you listen to. They're just like, yeah, Big Brother is watching, and Big Brother's name is Microsoft. Are you ready for their resolution? Oh my, this is what caused me to laugh out loud. Resolution. We recommend you not proceed with the Windows 10 anniversary update. Our recommendation is that you do not let Windows 10 update. Windows 10 is going to update all at once. You don't have a choice. Recommendation: uninstall the Windows 10 anniversary update to listen to your downloaded songs. Wow. You guys remember back, this was before the anniversary update came out, when Microsoft came in and said, 7 million people, 7 million pictures have been viewed by our thing. 7,000 songs have been played on Windows. And people were like, yeah, that's really scary that you know those numbers. This is why. Windows 10 is taking off the ability to play a media file if you're not perpetually connected. Windows 10 is a creepy X stalker? No, Windows 10 is a creepy current stalker. I do need to turn on my burning, don't I? I'll have plenty more reasons to burn. I should have burnt, but... Alright, so that's Napster. Napster's solution for playing their offline music is to not install the Windows 10 anniversary update. I'll get right on that. I'll just tell Microsoft, don't install any more updates. I do not think it was the AC3 patent. It was the MP3 patent did expire. I'm not sure about AC3. Like, ACC, I think, is still patented. MP3 is now expired. MP3, MP4 patents expiring. We can now officially say that Linux is better for multimedia than Windows. I'm not sure. Like, I know that is... How about the codecs? I don't know. I haven't read enough about that. I know that the MP3 patents expired, so... That is that. All right. So now I want to look at the Amazon Music, because we got the Amazon Music Unlimited. Like, okay, there's the Kindle Unlimited, so you can pay, like, is it $10 a month, I think, for like $10 a month to have your Kindle Unlimited, and then you can have whatever your Prime is per month. Somebody can tell me, I'm sure. And then there's this one, another $10 a month for the Music Unlimited. So you can have all sorts of unlimited Amazon. The only thing that's going to be unlimited is their amount of cash flow, net cash flow, from the negative cash flow of all of us giving all of this money to Amazon for nothing more than a license to play a song that you can get for free on YouTube anyway. So... what is Music Unlimited? This was funny here. Okay, so this one here, non-Prime customers pay $9.99 a month. As a Prime member, you can join Unlimited Music for $8 a month, $10 a month if you're not a Prime, or you can pay $79 a year for an annual subscription to have a part of the Amazon Music. So this was the Unlimited Music FAQs. Of course, here's a fun one. Download Prime Music for offline payback. Compatible devices for offline playback. Well, the Music Android app, for Android, for iOS, or on the Fire tablet. So no, you cannot take your purchased songs from Amazon, download them, and put them somewhere else. Scary. It's becoming a weird world. All right, let's have a look. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if if YouTube got DRM. Actually, I think it does. You have to install certain plugins to make a lot of things work. In fact, that's a funny thing I didn't even include yet is very quietly at the beginning of this year, Chrome, and I think by extension Chromium, actually added some features, basically absolutely requiring that the DRM is always turned on. And that basically means that security researchers could be prosecuted for doing research into it. Bless VLC for letting me watch imported anime on DVD. Yes, that's another fun thing. Windows 7 was the last Windows operating system that had DVD codecs installed. So after Windows 7, you'd need a separate program to play a DVD. VLC will do it. Will Napster track me? Probably. Does that work with Rockbox? Free MP3 player firmware. I have no idea what Rockbox is. I still have my Arcos MP3 player in my drawer. Nice! I love those things. Those were awesome. It's like a laptop on top of like probably some Linux thing. Thought bootable USB from eBay to get Mint to booted it and no internet. Am I doing something wrong? I always want to be careful with buying bootable USBs from online. It's always better if you know or can track somebody down that you trust that can get you one. It is possible, though, depending on which version of Mint it is, if it's a slightly older one and it is a computer that has a Broadcom modem, that would probably interfere. On the few computers I've had that issue with, I've actually just plugged a smartphone in, shared the hotspot, and then updated the drivers from there. So that's double check, go into your system settings and go look at your drivers and see if there's proprietary drivers for your network card you can turn on. Rockbox iPod. I'll have to look into this Rockbox thing. Windows 10 with free adware. Yeah! Always connected, yes. The stalker at Windows is watching my music. Yes, through the windows. Combined with MP3, let's see, I think it's to that. Firefox now has a new interface, you can try it. I'll have to look into that. How many subscription services do they want? They want you to have so many subscription services you become totally indebted into serfdom to simply pay your subscription services, so that you're basically just going to work and then they're just going to automatically pay all your subscription services so that your telly screen can perpetually watch everything that you're doing. That's the goal, okay? As 10 as being the AI of today, precursor to Skynet. Yes, it is. I'm trying to decide if I want to switch this Dell computer over to Linux. It's running Windows 10 at home. It's not my computer, but it's running slow and a friend wants me to work on it. If you have the ability to take out the hard drive and put in a different hard drive, or just try working it on a USB drive. If you want music, discover real musicians with real music. Independent. Most have MP3 purchased on their sites. Yeah, there's actually, we'll get into a little bit of that as I get into the solutions. But there's some really cool musicians doing some really cool things, including a friend of mine alerted me to Chance the Rapper, who all of his music is free. He just gives all his music away and he makes his money on merchandising. Merchandising. I did not see flamethrowers on his website, though. Hate these USB killers that damage computers' hardware. Yeah, always be extremely careful about USB drives. I would never even plug in a USB drive I didn't know anything about without running it through like Tails first or whatever else. Oh, boy. Let's see. We looked at the Amazon articles. Someone's like pounding on something. Quite comically, our pastor played this little video about your neighbors making a lot of noise, and it was this: are your upstairs neighbors, You know, and it was basically like this mock video of these upstairs neighbors doing all sorts of weird things, and their downstairs neighbors like, I don't know what it's doing. It sounds like bowling balls. And you see them upstairs rolling bowling balls across the floor. They said, we also have to take shifts to make sure that nobody's, you know, that to make sure that the neighbors think that nobody ever sleeps. So the guy wakes up at 4 a.m. and dumps a 5-gallon bucket full of BBs all over the floor. It was awesome. And I feel like that sometimes. Like last weekend, there was like, I just heard just running back and forth all weekend long, never stopped. And at the end of the weekend, the neighbor's like, yeah, I'm sorry for the noise. I had my 3 grandkids over. I'm like, yeah, that explains it. I thought they were just breeding cows up there myself, but you know, that's okay. Either way. Where should I buy MP3/FLAC songs? I usually use MP3 for MP3 and pirate FLAC after buying MP3, of course. I'll get into that a little bit when we get into the solutions here. So the next thing is I started looking at books, and books are driving me totally mad. So as far as books, there's a few places out there where you can find a lot of books. As far as pretty much any old books, anything that's in public domain, you can probably find without a problem. No issues at all. And so you have that issue for books. The only mainstream company I know of that does not DRM protect their books is Macmillan. And I really hate speaking positively of Macmillan because I used to work for them and it drive me crazy. But Macmillan, they have a series of subsidiaries, and the only ones that have any DRM on their books at all are the textbooks, which is not their hugest market. But Tor Books is one of the Macmillan ones. But these here are places where you can look up various books. The other place to look up books is if you install Calibri. I don't think this has Calibri installed. Okay. No, this computer does not. But if you install Calibri on your Linux, actually, you can use Calibri as cross-platform, so you can use it everywhere. And on Calibri, what you can do is you can actually go in and search for books, and it will search through all of the different online bookstores it knows about, and that gives you an indication if it's a DRM-free or a DRM-protected or an unknown. And I was looking for a book today. Like, I will gladly throw $5, $10 even for a book that I can download that I own. But if you're going to DRM protect it, I'm not going to buy it from you. And so that's why, as I convert my life to minimalism as much as I possibly can, why I will not switch to just buying stuff on Kindle. Because if I'm going to put down money for a book, I want to own it. I don't want a subscription to it. I want to own it. And if I lose it because of poor data management, I lose it because of poor data management. Hopefully that won't happen. But that's kind of that thing, is that I want to be able to do that, is to have my own real books. So these are, I just did some internet searches for DRM-free ebooks. I think the best place is Calibri because it gives you that whole listing sent out there. And if you're so inclined and you'd like to look up online, you can look up and download the plugins to allow you to break the DRM on your books. I'm not going to talk about that because it's illegal where I am, and I'm not going to do that. But for me, oh, yeah, look at that site. Looks like you're using an ad blocker. Looks like I'm going to close my box. Ha ha ha. We won't go to that site. So this is what you do to look for these. Now, of course, I did find this other website called Defective by Design, and this is a website that is basically all about DRM. So they have information here on the DRM-free guides. I found that a lot of these, they have a lot of references here. Some of these were really good. Some of these were not quite as good. So you have you kind of have that going. So you can come over here and just look to see if there's anything like this. Project Gutenberg is one, apparently has just tons of old books. So if you're looking for something old, you're looking for those old classics, all free. You can grab those for free. Now, as far as readers, let's talk about that for a minute, because as far as readers, what website is that for the books? This one right here that I'm on is called Defective by Design. So what I wanted to do for apps is I wanted to kind of protest against Kindle, so I want to stop using it. And so for the, let's go with Android first. So with Android, I did find two open source, completely open source platforms. One of them is complete cross-platform, and that is FB Reader. So if you go to FB Reader, let me go back to my main menu there. Okay, so here is FB Reader, and I went ahead and all I did is I just plugged this guy. I put the volume down button. All I did is I just plugged this guy right into the computer, onto my Linux computer that's keeping a backup of all of my files and stuff. Simply dropped the ebooks onto this guy, and then I came over here, and here's my list. Of course, look at that highlighted name. That's awesome. You know, look at that. And then so you click on this, and then you can see your list of your books. And then here is your ebook. So this is my book on the thing there. So just push the read, and let me go back to the beginning. So here's my book on my e-reader. And so you can use this, and this is from the, just downloaded from the App Store. And this is, like I said, this one is... That one is called FB Reader. The other one I found is called Cool Reader. Cool Reader is more of a skeuomorphic type thing. It's pretty cool. It's not nearly as good as the FB Reader. Now, FB Reader is also working on a iOS app as well. So that is not out yet. So for now, what I'm using is called eBooks, is the app I'm using for the iPhone. It is a Russian app, but it seems to be pretty good. So with this, I can go back. Let's see. So here's my whole book library there, all the books I had here. So this is, and again, it is, it's a Russian program, but it is an open source one. And so it gives me all of the basic options that I would expect on an e-reader, if I can find them. So here I can change my color patterns to, you know, the sepia, the black, the white, whatever else. So this way I can download my ebooks directly onto my phone or onto my tablet from the computer. Of course, you can read them with Calibri as well on the computer. So if you do want an e-reader, those are what I'm using right now instead of Amazon. So that's kind of what I'm doing for the e-readers. And then you can just find the books that you want to use online that are all DRM-free, and those particular are open source applications. So that is, let me find you the links for those guys. That's not it. It looks like eBooks does have one for the Android as well, but I definitely prefer the FB Reader. So that's the iTunes one, and FB Reader it's actually a great Linux application as well. And like I said, they are working on an iOS app. It's in alpha, or is it in beta? But here is the one I'm using for Android, and one of the Linux ones as well. So those there allows me to use those. Of course, to put them on the iPhone, I was having a problem getting Ubuntu Mate dropping files onto this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Cinnamon I never have a problem with. Ubuntu Mate I do. So I I had to get the last two books on. I emailed them to myself. Click it in the email and save it into the app. Works great. For the Android tablet, plug in the Android tablet, drop the books into the directory, and good to go. So that's kind of what I did for the ebooks. All right. Never had a problem with Downpour. Just MP3s, download them, put them on an MP3 player. Again, I never read the terms. Yeah. See you later, UK Beasts. Come in number 89. Your bed is ready. Okay. Internet Archive, free downloads. Yes, Internet Archive. That is on the list somewhere. Firefox has EME free version. Get it at Firefox version archive. Find latest release beta if you like. CME free. Similar to DRM. Defective by design site is great. Cool. Getting a tablet soon. I might use it for books I can't physically get. Yeah, I like it for the old classics. All right. So let's go ahead and have a look at some fun solutions here. So, of course, we talked about why did it happen. What are the major problems with DRM, as we've already talked about. The first reason, one of the first things that got me to thinking about this is the issue and the question that I had with somebody had sent me a message on the comments about there's he or she had movies in iTunes and need to figure out the iTunes because of having the movies. And what ends up happening is the reason Microsoft is doing this and Apple's doing this and Amazon's doing this and even small obscure places are starting to do this now. Everyone's trying to tie you into their app because it keeps you dependent on the brand. You can't stop using their service or you lose the product. Because you're not buying the product, you're buying the license to use the product. And that's that critical difference. Of course, the major problem with this, of course, is the inability of removing it off the device and doing what you want with it. So what I'm doing, as far as my things, what I am doing is with music CDs, there's really no legal grounds for not making a copy of a CD. Technically, though, you should have purchased it and probably still own a physical copy of the CD, which is dumb, but to not get around the law, that's what you should do. So I have a copy of all my music on my NAS drive, and I can stream that to anywhere in the house. I can put it on my files. I can put it on my phones. I can put it on my tablet, whatever else. That's what you can do with that. Books, this is the solution I'm coming up with, what I've already talked about. Now, looking forward, though, are we at a point in time when we need to start challenging the companies? Like, the best thing we can do is stop buying these streaming services and stop buying these types of services from these companies and say, you know what? I'm not going to participate in this crap. I want to purchase a copy of the book or bust. I'd rather go to the library, check it out, than pay you the same amount of money the book actually costs for a subscription service to access that one book. That's kind of the problem and the challenge. And so what we need to do is potentially look at a shift in the modeling. So I talked about this rapper, this new up and coming rapper, Chance the Rapper. What he has is all of his stuff is free. Let's see if I can find his site there. So all of his stuff is free. Like, all of his music is free. Now, I believe it all streams. I'm not sure if it's like free as in you can download it, but here's his site. And all of his albums, basically he makes his money off of his concerts. He makes his money off of his merchandise, which is, where's it at? I think it's down at the bottom of the page. So kind of expensive for hats, but he makes his money off of his merchandise, but you can come right to his website. Of course, you can download the music on any of the subscription services we've already been talking about, but from right here on the website, you can push play and you can listen to it. In fact, I listened to this whole album today just to hear how's this guy doing it. This is through SoundCloud, actually. So if you have a SoundCloud account, in theory, you should be able to go over to his SoundCloud account and probably download it. I didn't look into it in that deep. If my friend who is into Chance, can you tell me that? Can we go into the SoundCloud account and actually download a DRM-free copy of his music? That would be interesting to know. Yeah, this guy here, and he makes a big deal in interviews talking about, I give the music away. And that's the area where we need to start looking into, getting into, is can we get to this point where we're not so locking people into this? Okay, because an MP3 and a music file is so easy and so quick and so fast to share back and forth. This is the model we need to be doing. We need to be bringing people to our site with the service that we have and the fact that we're always putting things out. This is the same reason I have a Patreon account that you know, and I try and drive some people to help support the Patreon account, is because I'm doing a lot of the videos for free. It does take a lot of time. It does take some time to research. Like today, I spent the entire day researching all the various things of DRM. I'm not charging for the content here, but if you got the extra, you know, a couple bucks or something every now and again, I'd appreciate, you know, a little bit of help. That's kind of up, you know, up to you guys. But at the same time, I don't want to get to the point where I have to sell everything and be that gatekeeper and then worry about someone pirating things. So I'm thinking of just getting all of my other books. Like if you want a physical copy of the book, I'd have to sell you a copy. In fact, I think I got like 20 copies left here in the house now. If you want a physical copy of the book, I'd have to sell it to you to overcome the costs of shippings and all those kinds of things. But as far as the digitals, I'd be okay to say, hey, $3, $2, $3, you can have a digital copy, DRM-free. I'd ask you to please not, you know, throw it up on the old Napster or peer-to-peer file sharing or anything. But I found a person also, this is Chance the Rapper's doing this in giving away the music for free. J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter fame, she was always against the DRM as well, and she did all of her all her stuff DRM free from her Potterville. And so with all of that, you can make a very good living giving the content away, or at least giving it away DRM free, just so that you can get a chance to get a chance to make the connection with the audience and things like that. So basically, that's kind of what I have to say here about DRM. It's a scary thing, you know. We need to not be encrypting all of our files behind it. If I go into the store and I buy your book from Kindle, I should get a copy of the book. Not a subscription that Kindle and Amazon has the right to remove it, but also goes for these Christian books. I'm so frustrated that I cannot get a DRM copy of a Christian book to read on my service. So the answer is no, I won't buy it. I'll go to the library and check it out. That's kind of what I have to say. All right, let's see. Hello, Kyrie Holmes. By the way, I can I use a Raspberry Pi as a NAS? You probably can. However, you want to check your memory. I have a low-end computer. I have a whole video on how I built mine off of a floor model computer from Best Buy, one of those micro towers. That's what I'm using for my NAS, and it works awesome. I'm not sure I'd try a Raspberry Pi, and the reason is you'd have to have external hard drives hooked into their own power supplies, because a Pi does not have the ability to run the external hard drives. And so you'd end up with one little device running two or three different power supplies. So I would really build it with a micro tower computer instead. And that's kind of the way I would do it. Let me see if I can find the video on how I built mine. I typed in YourTube, not YouTube. Gotta be careful on that. If you type in switched to online, it's like I'm the first thing up there. That's pretty sweet. I'm just looking for that. NAS. Copy link location. All right. Coming in is, there's the link to building the NAS out of a microcomputer. I use my Raspberry Pi for my Kodi Media Center. Let's see. How's the music by him? It's pretty good. It depends on, of course, what type of music you like. It's like a modern hip hop, but there's some of the songs he'll mix in some brass instruments as well, and some of his messaging is pretty good. He's been described as sort of like a cross between a gospel and other things like that. You can download some music from SoundCloud, but there's an add-on for browsers with things like SoundCloud Music Downloader, which will let you download any music with no account. Huh, okay, that's good to know. I know in some cases I've seen some people, it just kind of depends on what you got. AMD A6 7310 APU with AMD Radeon A4 graphics. How well does that work with Linux? It's going to depend on your Linux distro. You'd want to avoid GNOME and Unity before Ubuntu 17. I run an AMD R7 on this computer, running Linux Mint, no problems. It also runs Mate without a problem, but I've had issues on GNOME with the AMD graphics cards, and I know I've had issues with Unity. Phone died. Bummer. Yeah, I can personally test your music slash... but Ryan, you have not seen it since I ran Cat 6 to it. Also, by the way, if you are using a Raspberry Pi or actually just Kodi in general, and you're running the app... I used to run the app from my tablet running KitKat. Causes a lot of problems. You'd want to run the app on something else. I'm actually running it on the iPad now, which is great. Linux Mint 18.1 with an AMD graphics card, you should not have a problem. Would not see a problem there. Oh yeah, hey, look at this. Here's my video on let's see, copy link location. Here's how to make a media center on Raspberry Pi. That's fun. Is that it? Creating Linux Media Center on a Raspberry Pi. Yes, there's that one. I had another one too. Oh, that's right. I did one 4 months ago, and I did another one just recently with more up-to-date system. All right. Well, because talking about Radeon R4 integrated, not a graphics card. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Liam. I have no idea then. I'm guessing that Linux Mint's probably going to be fine. Is there a gaming-based distro? Well, there's like the Steam OS, but I've heard it's not very good. Check out the Linux Gamers channel. He might be able to inform you more on that. Deluge is being extremely weird. It's going to a thin client, even though I have libtorrent. Huh. Thank you, Liam. Yep. Like I said, I have no idea once you get into the integrateds. I did not catch that. All right. Well, that was fun. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to jump off here. It's about a good hour on DRM. Once again, I have these 5 DRM-free versions of my book. It is a Christian book, just an FYI, but first 5 people to send me a PM on YouTube that would like one of these, you can download it as a .mobi, an EPUB, or a PDF. You can run it perfectly on Calibri, any of the media readers I have here, and you can actually sideload it into your Kindle if you do use a Kindle. So I do have 5 of these. It is a copy of my Christian book, DRM-free digital copy. Let me know, PM me if you would like one of those. And if you do not hear back from me and you did PM me, it means I cannot seem to respond to you. So, bummer. When is the next live stream? I'm going to shoot to probably try and do another impromptu one on Wednesday is probably all. What I've been trying to do lately is do one of them earlier in the day on Wednesday, so that what I can do then is focus on one topical article, and then Friday I do the full news, and then Sunday I do these. All right, Ryan, let's see. Let me make sure, Ryan, that I have a PM from you. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. No, go back. A private message. So if you go to my channel and if you go into the channel, there's a place to do a private message. The Internet Archive. Oh, you know what? I think the Internet Archive was listed on one of the ones I was on earlier. Christian, but I can't read. Well, being as it's the open source one, you might be able to put it into a reader. I'm not sure. PM is when you go... Oh, okay. Thanks, Liam. All right. I'm just going to try and get in there and before I jump off here, see if I have any of those coming in yet. I don't always get the notifications. Okay, yes, I have one from Ryan. Let me send you one. I'll have to do it when I get off the live stream. But yes, Ryan, I did receive yours. I will get that sent out to you very shortly. If you do not hear from me, it means for some reason I can't send you a message. Some people I cannot seem to send a message to. I have no idea why. So I'll get back in contact with you if I can't seem to get that done. But I will get those sent out here very shortly. Also, if you would like to download a copy of the DRM-free down there, I threw him up on Patreon. Let me see if I can find my Patreon account real quick. Yeah, for whatever reason on this computer, my Patreon shows up blank, but it should be right there. You can go right there and you can download a copy of the DRM-free if you want a copy of him. He's kind of cute. Makes a great background. He's kind of small resolution. Sorry about that. It's just the way it was built. But anyway, have yourself a good one, everybody. And like I said, I should potentially be live streaming again on Friday. Or on Wednesday is what I'm shooting for. So have yourself a good one, everybody, and I will talk to you later, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.